Good morning. Today, I have a bit of a light situation, so it's darker, but we'll make it work. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good day. Whenever you do get to watch this, I'm here again. And today, I want to talk about pain. And pain, I feel, is a very touchy subject, right? I feel it's a very personal subject for a lot of people. I feel that in a lot of ways pain is something that unless you've gone through it, you can't really speak about it. I'm saying unless you've gone through a particular pain, unless you experience that thing that the person has experienced, you can't specifically speak about it you know um and so it's a touchy topic. It's a very touchy topic. And so I but I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it, and I want to talk about it in the sense that your pain is here. It's very real, it's very recognized, it's very acknowledged, but it's also very easy for God to go straight into it. It's very easy for God to handle. God can handle your pain. That's what I came to say today. God can handle your pain. As we grow, right, in our lives, there's so many things that happen through this journey that would be a source of pain for us. I mean, there are all the jokes. We have there's an endless flow of jokes, about pain, about trauma, about people who have been traumatized, what has happened to them. There is that continued discourse about, especially like the millennial generation is known as a very traumatized generation. I don't know if this is true across every region of the world, but in my region of the world, the millennial generation is a very, like, we are known for the trauma that we pass through, right? And so it's easy to take that pain and have it be the north light of your life, right? It's easy to take that pain and have it be the thing that guides your actions. It's easy to take that pain and have it be the reason that you act a certain way or do certain things. And I'm saying this from experience. I'm not saying this from abstract knowledge. Is that I have had phases in my life where I would act a certain way and I would very boldly, very confidently point to the trauma that I had experienced in one way or the other as the reason for this action. Okay, I was checking if my sound is working because I gotta know. you know, I would point to the trauma that I had experienced as the reason for this action or as the reason for the way I was acting. And I would feel very justified in it. I would point to um, the pain that I had gone through as the reason for why I was being maybe difficult, maybe unreasonable sometimes. And I was very justified because, again, I'm a great storyteller. So if I went into the storytelling aspect of this to justify my actions, you would believe me slash empathize with me. And that was the usual flow for me until I realized this is not healthy. This is not ideal. This is not how I should live. And that realization unlocked something for me. It was just like a light bulb moment where I'm just like, yeah, this is not healthy. And so it's that knowing that I've come to have, that even when you can have reasons for doing certain things based on what you've gone through, if it's not healthy, you're going to have to let it go. And that's difficult. See, that's difficult because, again, we're humans and we're people who Everything that happens in our lives takes a clear process. It's a clear process. It's a clear process of growing, of becoming, of learning and unlearning. And processes take time. And because processes take time, there are a lot of times when we'll find that journey taking longer than it needs to take. But you're not your trauma, right? That's where I want to start from. In fact, I'm starting to feel like that should have been the title of this live. You are not your trauma. And you're not your trauma because you are somebody that something happened to. You are not somebody who is something. So, for example, if you lose a sibling, right? That happened to you, but it is not your life story. It does not need to keep you down forever. I'm trying to be careful when I say these things because when it comes to pain, it's very personal for people. And, people can be all, but you do not know my pain. That's true. I don't. But I'm saying the point I'm trying to make here is whatever this pain is, it does not have to keep you down forever. That I'm sure of. It doesn't have to keep you locked in forever. You are not your trauma. Whatever it is that has happened to you, you are not your trauma. I'm not negating the weight of the pain. I'm not negating the weight of the experience. I'm not negating the heaviness of what happened. But I'm saying you are not your trauma. You are not your trauma. I can't edit the title of this. I would have loved to edit the title of this live. Because, yes, God can handle your pain, but you need to start from knowing that that pain, that thing that happened to you, is not who you are, it's something that happened to you. If you're someone who's been harassed before, you are not, whatever that makes you feel. So I know that harassment makes you feel like, quite frankly, a rag, like a dirty rag, to be honest. But you are not a dirty rag. You're somebody who was abused. And the problem, especially in cases where your pain was perpetuated by another person's actions, the problem is with the person that did the thing, not you. You only become the problem when you are unable to recover from that. Yeah, kind of like that. The problem is always with the person who caused that pain. You are not the source. You are not the problem. You are not your trauma. You are not the thing that happened to you. That's where this has to start from. You are not what? You are Hello. Welcome to the live. It's an encouragement live. I hope you're doing good today. I hope you're doing fine today. I hope you're having a great day. But yeah, you are not your pain, you're not your trauma, you're not the thing that happened to you. You are somebody whom something has happened to. And that doesn't have to end your life. That doesn't have to stop your journey. In fact, that doesn't have to destroy your journey. That doesn't have to mess up your entire life. That is something that happened. And so for everything that you've gone through, the first point of call would be to say, what did I learn from this? It doesn't have to be a positive thing you learned. It can be a negative thing, It's case by case. It can be something bad or something painful you learned, but it's what did I learn from this? What did this experience teach me? And from there, you can now start to ask yourself the hard questions of how can I heal from this? Because that's one of the most important aspects of this thing. You healing from whatever has happened. And this is where God comes in. God comes in here because pain is very hard to handle. A lot of times, pain is too heavy to carry. A lot of times. Pain is so heavy that even if you're trying to be brave, you're trying to be strong, you're trying to carry it like with finesse, you're trying to carry it with a straight face, demurely, it's still going to call you out and tell you that you're not strong enough. And so this is where God comes in. This is where you take that pain and you go to the Lord and you say, look, I cannot. That's something my younger brother says a lot. I cannot. I cannot carry this. I can't bear the weight of it. I cannot handle it. I cannot handle it. It's too heavy for me. It's too much for me. You need to be able to say that. You need to bring that honesty. Especially if you're someone who's been traumatized. There are things you will do. I mean, I did therapy. I started inching into therapy about 3, 4 years before. And then 3 years ago, I just full on started. 2024, I did therapy. 2025, I did therapy. Because I had to tell myself, this is holding me back. So I'm not saying this as, a novice or a random stranger who has no idea what pain can do to you. It can harden you. There's a way it can harden you. And I'm very smiley and very goofy. But inside of me, the apathy was at an all-time high. I was operating on steroid levels of apathy. I'm so smiley, you would not even know that. But I knew it. I knew something was off. It was this inability to be genuinely concerned. I was concerned about I don't know, 2, 3 people that were close to me. Other than that, it was a high level of apathy. It was a high level of, disinterest in the world, in people. So if I met you, I would, yeah. But the moment I left there, you cease to exist most of the time. And that was off. I knew that was off. There were other signs, but this is the one I can maybe freely just talk about. So yeah, if you need to do something about it, if you need to get help, if you need to talk to someone, to that. And then beyond that, bring God in. God says, scripture says, come unto me. This was Jesus talking in Matthew. Come unto me. If you're burdened, if you're heavy laden, that can mean a lot of things. Your burden can be your pain. It can be your fear. It can be your anger at the person that hurt you. It can be the distrust you now have for men as a result of the repeated cases of sexual harassment. It can be the hurt that you feel from your parents treating you like they are not your parents. It can be anything. But whatever that burden is, come. I will give you rest. Jesus doesn't say that lightly. And rest isn't something that you can achieve by yourself. True rest is something you find in God because God was the original rester. He was the first person who rested. So he can give you the true blueprint, the actual pattern for what your rest should look like. He can give you that. But you have to come first. You have to come first. If you don't come, how will you get the rest? And you need to rest from your pain. Pain hardens the heart. Pain weakens the body. It's literal science. If you're carrying pain, your hurt, and the negative feelings from that hurt from a long time, it's going to weaken your immune system. You will get sick more. There's something that carrying your pain does to you that is just not good. And so you need to be able to let that pain go. And that's why I'm telling you that God can handle that pain. You don't have to carry it. You don't have to carry it. There's a story that I heard, and I never heard it preached that way. until there's this ministration I was under, and this woman broke down that scripture, and I was amazed. And it's the story of Jephthah, I think, right? So Jephthah was hurt by his kinsmen. I think, let me just search for the scripture so that I can read it out. He was hurt by these people, and he was, I mean, they were mean to him. It wasn't a, so it's from Judges 11. I'm gonna just read it, right? um Judges 11. Ooh, Jesus, yeah. At this point I should just like bookmark bible.com on my Google. Anyways, so I'm gonna read through it, right? I'm just gonna read through it to give like a bit of context on what I'm saying when I say what carrying your pain can do to you. So after hearing this minister talk about it, I went to study on the story and I was amazed. So now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty. This is Judges 11. I'm reading the NKJV, OG NKJV version. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, but he was the son of a harlot, and Gilead begot Jephthah. Gilead's wife bore sons, and when his wife's sons grew up, they drove Jephthah out and said to him, "You shall have no inheritance in our father's house, for you are the son of another woman." Then Jephthah fled from his brothers and dwelt in the land of Tob, and worthless men banded together with Jephthah and went out raiding with him. It came to pass after a time that the people of Ammon made war against Israel. And so it was, when the people of Ammon made war against Israel, that the elders of Gilead went to get Jephthah from the land of Tob. Then they said to Jephthah, "Come and be our commander, that we may fight against the people of Ammon." So Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "Did you not hate me and expel me from my father's house? Why have you come to me now when you are in distress?" And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "That is why we have turned again to you now, that you may go with us and fight against the people of Ammon and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead." So Jephthah said to the elders of Gilead, "If you take me back home to fight against the people of Ammon, and the Lord delivers them to me, shall I be your head?" And the elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord will be a witness between us if we do not do according to your words." Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and commander over them. And Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. So now for context, this guy, illegitimate son, his stepbrothers kicked him out of the family. You know, he's carried that pain his whole life. He goes, he finds his people, he becomes a big guy, like king of the streets or something like that. And he's carrying his pain. He's still carrying his pain. And now these guys have come to him. They need his help, right? They need his help. They need him to come through for them. They need him to hold the ground for them. They need him to fight the battle for them. And he's like, "Okay, will you make me your leader?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, sure. Sure, we'll make you our leader." And so he's like, "All right, cool." So now Jephthah sent messengers to the king. So I don't want to, let me just narrate this part. So he goes to the king that is trying to fight them. He challenges them. And he's like, "You know what? I'm going to fight you." Right? So he does that whole story, and there's now a war set, right? There's a war set between him and this city. Now, Jephthah made a vow to the Lord. I've gone down to verse 30. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord and said, "If you will indeed deliver the people of Ammon into my hands, then it will be that whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the people of Ammon shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up as a burnt offering." Now, when you say something like that, Jephthah said this and assumed that when he said whatever comes out, he probably thought a cow was going to come out, a goat, you know, a one of his cattle, like something that was easy to sacrifice was going to come out. And this war was so important to him because he was still carrying the pain from the rejection of his father's house. They literally exiled him, made him a street guy. And so he carried that pain. He was great now. He was great enough to fight for a whole country. Do you know what that means? It means that you could succeed at everything in life. And the person that said one thing to you when you were a child will still keep you down in your spirit. And that will be a hole in your soul that cannot be filled. It means that you could become immensely wealthy, and something that a random stranger said to you 20 years ago would stick in your head and still be the cross you are carrying. It will still be the burden that is holding you back. This is what had happened to Jephthah. This guy became great enough to defend a whole city. I'm saying he could defend the entire kingdom of Israel in a battle against another kingdom. He had that many men. He was that great. And what he said when they first came to him, the first thing that he came out to say was, you guys that rejected me when I was small. So if I'm gonna fight for you, you're gonna make me lord over you. Because for him, that pain was an itch that had to be scratched. He had to get the recompense. And that's what a lot of us do when we carry our pain. We carry our pain, and for us it's no longer about anything. It's about the fact that this person that said I wasn't, people that said you would amount to nothing, you are like, this person must acknowledge me now. That is the entire battle you're fighting. That's the entire cross you're carrying. For some of us is that. For someone that said, oh, you are not great at what you do, your entire life journey is now dedicated to making them say that, oh, I made a mistake, you are great. We have to move on from that. You've got to heal from that. Your life's journey cannot be about proving somebody wrong. Your life journey cannot be about somebody restituting an offense they did to you. Your life journey cannot be about getting an apology from the person that raped you. I am saying this point blank. Your life journey cannot be about getting an apology from the person that harassed you. It cannot. Your life journey cannot be about getting the boss who fired you to come and seek for you again, to want to hire you. Your life journey cannot be about getting the parents that mistreated you or maltreated you to call you back and apologize. Your life journey has got to be bigger than that. This is what happened to Jephthah. He was rejected. Yes, they sent him out of his father's house. Yes, because he was a prostitute's son. They sent him away, exiled him. Yes. Now, Jephthah grew to be so great, and the only thing he could think about is, you guys have to make me lord over you for me to defend you. Your life journey is bigger than restitution. Your life journey is bigger than recompense. Your life journey is bigger than getting the apology of the person that hurt you. Your life's journey is bigger than getting the apology of the person that hurt you. You are called to far more, and you've got to focus on what you're called to do. And that's why your healing has to be important to you. This is why I am confident in saying that you are not your trauma, no matter what has happened to you. I'm saying this, I'm not saying this emptily. I have been heavily harassed repeatedly by people I trusted, relatives. So I'm not saying it from a place of not knowing what I'm saying. I'm saying your life's journey is bigger than that. It's bigger than waiting for those people to come and tell you they are sorry. So you take that pain and you give it to God, because God is the only one that can be a balm. See, God is the balm of Gilead. God is the balm of Gilead. Jephthah was a Gileadite, just saying. And so Jephthah made this vow, right? I read up to the point where he made the vow. He said, anything that comes out after, because for him, this battle was no longer just a battle. It was about proving his worth. This battle became about him proving to the people that rejected him that he was worthy of their acceptance. He was worthy of being Lord over them. That's what this battle became about. The battle with the Ammonites became a battle where he had to win to show them that he is worthy. Because he had become so great, but he still needed those people's acknowledgement. he still needed he still needed their thumbs up. He still needed them to be like, yeah, we were wrong about you. You are the real deal. And so he made that vow to God. God, help me win. I'll give you the first thing that comes out of my house, right? Now, what happened at the battle? So Jephthah advanced towards the people of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands, and defeated them from Aroer as far as Minnith, 20 cities, and to Abel Keramim with a very great slaughter. Thus the people of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. So he won the battle for them. Now, when Jephthah came to his house at Mizpah, there was his daughter coming out to meet him with timbrels and dancing, and she was his only child. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass when he saw her that he tore his clothes and saying, Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low. You are among those who trouble me. For I have given my word to the Lord, and I cannot go back on it. And so, of course, this story ends. The girl dies, right? He gives her 2 months to mourn and all of that. And she dies. He has to sacrifice his own daughter. The last verse in this chapter, or the second to the last verse in this chapter. And so it became a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went 4 days each year to lament the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite. So this girl, innocent girl, she's died because her father never healed from his pain. And so she has no idea of the backstory. She's not in the contention. She's not in the war with him and his kinsmen. She's not in that story. Like, it's not her business. She's an innocent person, but she dies. This is because that pain is something that Jephthah held on to the last. Believe me when I say you have to let go of your pain. Your pain might be holding you back from even being yourself authentically. Whatever you need to do, right, to heal, you need to do it. And don't engage in temporary solutions, because there's temporary solutions like fun and pleasure to make yourself forget, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about doing the hard work of tearing off. I have an analogy. My English is not working. I have an analogy for healing that is interesting to me, right? When I was young, when I was really young, I think I was 4 or 5 years old, maybe 6, but I was really young. I remember that I still had the tiny voice, but this is a core memory for me. I fell down one day and got a bruise. And we're poor. We're poor when I was young, right? We're really poor. We're sheltered, but we're poor. Um, so I had this bruise, right? We're poor at that point. It got better when we grew up, because my mother, I don't want to watch this and be like, you were poor, and get upset. But when we were really young, it was, dire times. Anyways, I fell down. I got this bruise on my knees, and I got the usual. It was cleaned, it was bandaged, it was supposed to heal, but for some reason it got infected and did not heal. I started bringing out pus, right? And so it was constantly painful. The reason this is a core memory is because of how painful it was. So somebody advises my mom to do this. And I mean, if you grew up in my era, I can't even believe I'm saying my era. Like, my era was 100 years ago. I'm really young, guys. But if you grew up around that time, clean out the wound. Oh, bro, I cannot. Ah, I cannot tell you about the pain. I think I'm frozen, right? Okay. I'm back now. I thought I was freezing for a bit. I cannot tell you about the pain. I cannot tell you about the pain. My mom cleaned out this wound because, it kept bringing out pus. It was getting swollen. It was getting really messy. So she had to peel off the scabs that were already covering the wound and clean it out. Bro, I almost died. Like I cried. Oh God. Like I'm remembering the pain again and my entire body tremors from head to toe. I almost died. It hurt so much, guys. It hurt so much. But this was necessary because after the wound was cleaned out, you know, first um peeled the scab, actually cleaned it out, then cleaned it out with spirit and iodine, then they put some powder, like injection powder or whatever on it, and wrapped it again. Then it started to heal properly. And in a number of days, I was already itching from it being healed or the healing being faster, almost complete. But the pain of that wound being cleaned out, I cannot forget, guys. Like I can feel there's something at the back of my throat. Like grown people had to hold me down from how much it hurt and how much I wanted to run away. And this is the pain of healing. But if you're gonna heal from that pain, you actually have to go through this. You cannot bypass that. Healing is taking out sometimes, especially when the wound has stayed for that long. When the wound has stayed for long, it has festered, it has built antibodies, it has settled inside of you. You need to dig it out. I remember during therapy, and I was talking about all my parents' issues, like both mommy and daddy issues. And it was gonna be a narrative session, right? And I was just gonna talk about it and go. At some point, I was screaming, crying. I didn't even know how I got there. But it was that as the more I spoke, the more I realized that these things actually hurt me a lot. And after doing that, I just started to like be cool with my parents again. Like all that stuff you did, whatever, man. And I spoke with them about it honestly. Like, oh, I didn't like this. Oh, this was hard on me. Oh, this didn't help me. Oh, this made me this kind of person. And my mom is in her 60s now, so she's just like, really? I didn't think that was what was happening. We talked about it. But that started with me actually digging out that wound. And you need to dig that. And the God factor, like I said earlier, is you knowing that this is a burden. You have to recognize that this is a burden. You have to recognize that it's a burden. Carrying your pain is a burden. Whether you are carrying that pain every day or you just go back into the room once in a while to pick it up and just caress it again, it's still something. It's still something you are harboring. It's still something you are feeling. Every time you hold that pain and hug it to yourself, it gains a little more life. So if you leave it, it's starved, it's getting thin, it's getting malnourished, it might die soon, but you then go back one day and carry that pain. You feed it comes back to life. That's how we're feeding our pain. And like Jephthah, if you don't let go of that pain, someone may die because of you. Someone may literally lose their lives because of the decisions you will make out of that pain. God can handle this pain. Don't stop holding on to it. You need to be able to take it and give it to Him. And if you can't, then ask Him to help you. I've shared on the podcast about forgiveness. And I shared there was this time where I used to struggle with forgiveness. God blessed me with a mind that doesn't forget things, right? I might act like I can't see it or I don't remember, but that's for the sake of peace because I don't like drama. But I didn't used to forget things. And so for 3 years, I was only praying, God, help me to forgive. Give me a heart that forgives. And there's a song I used to sing then, I want a heart that forgives, and then leaves and let lives. And every time the song got to the crescendo, which is the part where the guy is saying, Lord, I let it go. Every single hurt, I let it go. I would just break down in tears and be like, God, please. Because I knew I could feel it's like I said, after a while, if you're carrying pain, unforgiveness, hurt, at some point you will feel the weight of it upon you. You will feel the weight of it upon you. You need to be able to let go. You need to let your pain go. If you don't let that pain go, it's going to hurt you, it's going to hurt somebody. After studying this story repeatedly of Jephthah, it boggled my mind that he was rich, he had a family, he had enough men to lead his own army. Like he had his own army of men, enough men to defend a country in a war. He wasn't a small person. He wasn't small. But because he hadn't healed from that pain, it got so great, but he was still just the little boy who wanted his stepbrothers to acknowledge him. He was just the prostitute son who wanted to be accepted by his father's other children. You can't be that person. A lot of us are like that. You are an adult, you are a manager, you are a boss somewhere, but inside you, you are the little girl whose siblings always told her to shut up. You are the little boy who was harassed by somebody, and now you're sleeping with everything that moves. If you see a pretty woman, you inside your instincts are just going to, you want to dominate that woman because of the first woman who dominated you. You know, you're accomplished, you drive your own car, you've built a house, you may even have a family, but inside you, you are the boy whose parents beat him so much that he started to doubt the fact that they were his parents. The abuse is still speaking, the pain is still speaking. I'm saying give it to God. I'm saying it's been years, you're single now, but you're the person whose spouse died. And so even now, you can't see your heart fully committing to anybody. I'm saying give all of it to God. That thing that is holding you back, that thing that it says, let us let go of every weight. That thing that is a weight a weight doesn't have to be a big thing. Oh, I'm so scared to move this mug. Let me move something else. This fan is so light, but yesterday I had to go out and it's really hot, so I had the fan. After a while, I hung it like this, but after a while, it became a bother. It's so light, it shouldn't be a bother, but no matter how tiny a weight is, it becomes a bother if you carry it long enough. Because we were made to just be free and not have these weights and these fetters. And so you need to give it to God. An example of somebody whose pain never weighed them down for me in the Bible is Joseph. 17 years later, Joseph told his brothers that what was meant for evil, God turned it around for good. Do you know the kind of mind you have to carry to say that? He recognized his brothers and teared up because he was happy to see them. He didn't go into spite or angry mood. He was like, yo, these are my brothers. The brothers that sold him into slavery. He was like, yo, these are my people. The difference between Joseph and Jephthah is that Jephthah was great and he didn't think, oh, these are my brothers, they need my help. He thought these are the people that rejected me. They need to acknowledge me now. Imagine that Joseph had said, these are the people that sold me into slavery. They need to suffer for what they've done. They need to admit what they've done. They need to admit that it was wrong. That recompense, that restitution you are hoping for, I need you to let it go. What if they never apologize? Are you never going to heal? What if they never acknowledge you? Are you never going to heal? What if they never say, oh, you're actually good enough? Are you going to believe forever that you're not good enough? Take that burden, give it to God. If you're struggling with the pain, I'm saying take that burden. That's the point today. You are not what happened to you. But if you're struggling to accept yourself away from the incident, that thing, literally say, God, I give it to you. And watch what happens repeatedly. Every time it comes, say, God, I give this pain to you. God, I give this hurt to you. Because you could be Joseph rather than Jephthah. The both of them had years between them. Jephthah had a full-grown daughter. His daughter was grown because she had to go celebrate with the other maidens, like, oh, I'm dying a virgin. So it's that she was at the age to be married. Joseph had 17 years. Imagine Joseph, a married man, now a prime minister, now walking the corridors of power saying, "You guys were the guys that sold me to slavery. And so God has brought you before me this day to humble you. And so you must acknowledge me." Let it go. Some people go to their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, carrying the pain of something that happened in your teens. Oh, let it go. Literally, let it go. Let it go. Like, so that it doesn't hold you back anymore. Literally, you have to. If you don't, it's gonna hold you down. It's gonna hold you down. Like Joseph, sit down and look for what was meant for evil that the Lord turned around for good. I say it a lot on here that I'm an incurable optimist. I don't care what you say. I know I'm an incurable optimist. I've had to talk myself out of being harassed before, out of being, heavily molested before. And I maintain that if I can talk myself out of that, I can talk myself out of anything. I can talk you out of anything. That's the positive for me. I'm not going to be like, somebody held me down. And I mean, I used to be like that. But with the growth and the healing, my mind changed. My perspective of that incident has changed. And is that if I put my mind to it, I can talk my way out of any situation. I can talk a person out of anything. That's the lesson for me. That's the lesson for me. That's on a very weird, lighter note, but it's that you need to find the positives. What have you learned? How has this grown you? How has this helped you? The person you've become, if you take away the places where that pain is weighing you down, can you objectively look at the person you've become? Is that a good person? What are the good things about this person? Can you go from there? And for every time that the pain comes back, can you say, God, I give you this pain? It's literally in scripture. If you are burdened, come to me. Like, give me. Because scripture says, I will not give you anything that is too heavy for you to bear. So the moment is feeling heavy, you can actually go to God and say, Lord, this is feeling heavy for me to bear. You can say, Lord, this is heavy for me to bear. If you continue to harbor the pain, it will grow into bitterness. It will grow into strife. You will transfer aggression. I say this often. I say it as a rule. I refuse to transfer aggression or transgressions. If I'm heavy at you, it's you that has done something to me. Because there was a point where I realized that I was relating to men, for instance, I was relating to men based on the actions of a few men. And so I had to cancel that. I'm still like, like I want to fight all the time, but that's just a factor of nurture because I grew up around boys. So I'm like, boys want to show they are strong because that has been my childhood. But I'm saying the things that made me dislike men, I had to separate the men that made me dislike men from every other man that I would meet in life because I realized that I was transferring the transgressions. And so you may need to do that. How do I react to certain situations? And how is this related to any pain that I'm carrying, any experience that I've had? Am I still carrying pain from that? And you need to consciously distance yourself from that memory. You need to consciously move away from that pain. If you don't, it's going to harm you. If it doesn't harm you, it's going to harm the people around you. And it may not be in obvious ways. But if you begin to have honest conversations today, you may find even that you've been harming the people around you without knowing, without meaning to. You may find that you've been hurting your loved ones without any intention to do so. You may find that that pain you've been carrying you've been spilling because you're bleeding, because you're still bleeding after all these years. You may find that you've been bleeding on the ones that love you, the people that are trying to get close to you. You may find that. God calls us to a life of freedom, of rest. Is rest. we were made for his rest. He made us then rested because he was like, let's do this. This is what you do. You rest. So when you are carrying this pain, this hurt, this trauma, it keeps you from actual rest. It keeps you from actual becoming. It keeps you from actual achieving. It keeps you from actual. When I was young, I've always loved music. I grew up in a house where my parents used to play music a lot. And then as I grew up, we were in situations where our living conditions weren't as good anymore. And then we lived with a mix of people. This is a core memory for me as well. I was singing one day, it was Alicia Keys' survival story. And I was singing, I was a teenager at this point. I think I was, I don't know, 15, 14. I was singing, yeah, 14, I guess. Here's my survival story, or something like that. And I sang it weird, right? And somebody in the room said, Kemi, you need to shut up. Like, don't sing ever again. You can't be singing around people with that kind of voice. Bro, like it's whoa, I felt it at the base of my spine. It hurt so, like I teared up instantly because she said it, and then everybody in the room laughed, and they're like, as in, and then people started giving their comments. She was singing. I was like, what is she doing? And this was a random thing, but you see, that moment stayed with me. And years later, when I would join the choir, I'm so grateful for my first choir master, by the way, my first music director. I used to be like, I know I love music. And I was like, okay, let me just admit to myself that I love music. So I joined the choir. There were times in church they would force me to be in the choir. That was not part of it. But for me, it was they were forcing me. So I was doing it anyways. And those ones they forced me. I would. But this was now when I decided this is a cool choir. I saw a choir, they could sing, they were cool. I wanted to join them. But that thing was in my head where it's like the way you sing. So I knew I could sing, but it was still there. So when I joined this choir and the people there were good, that thing kept echoing in my head because the person who said this could really sing. So I kept thinking, do they see me like that? And so in the choir, I'll be like, and the choir master will be like, Kemi, sing. Like, I worship you, Almighty God. That was me for months. The choir master sometimes it would literally push my belly like let your voice go because I was this is such a minor now and it's so funny to me now, but I was carrying that trauma, that pain. That comment had stayed in my head and informed what I thought people heard when they heard my voice. And it took me months, like about 6 months, to get comfortable singing in that choir. But when I got comfortable, I was singing almost every day, like because I was in church a lot at this point. I was singing almost every day. I was soloing a lot. I was leading worship all the time. So now you can convince me of a lot of things, but you cannot convince me that I cannot sing. I would say I can every time I'm taking, like I'm in a new music class, and every time I'm taking music class or music training, because I'm intentional about skill building, I'll be like, oh, whoa, I can't sing. But based on that incident, compared to what happened in that incident and now, I don't believe that anymore. But for years, I believed that. And it's how that's why I said careless statements like that can stay with us and inform who we think we are. Someone can say to you, you are so ugly, and you carry it. You carry it for years, thinking I'm ugly. What do you mean? Someone can say, you look weird. And sometimes we even start to say it about ourselves. You're like, I know I look weird, but because one person said it. So you need to sit down. If you're listening to me now, if you're going to listen to this later, if you're going to watch the replay, if you're going to see a clip online, whatever it is, my point is you need to sit down with yourself and ask, what are the things I believe of myself? Where do these beliefs come from? Are they from pain? Are they from trauma? And wherever they are from, check it. Check it. If it's something you need to erase, rewire, do that. If it's something you need to change, do that. What that will do for you is that you become more secure. To use myself as an example, you cannot tell me something I don't already know about myself because self-awareness is number one for me. You cannot. So you cannot insult me with like, you are short. I'm going to be like, but I don't really feel insulted. I know we're joking. Like, I'm not. Because I know. So check that pain you're carrying. Check that hurt. Check that impression you have of yourself. Check that habit that you have. Check that worldview, even that worldview. Women are this, men are this. Says who? Who says men are scum? Who says? Some men are scum. Okay. But when you say men, that's a generalization. That's not true. So check the things that you believe. Why do you believe them? What has informed that? Who gave you that impression of the world? What is the incident that traumatized you? Check that and begin to work your way backwards. Take it away. This is not healthy. I'm taking it out. This is not healthy. I'm taking it out. Now, if it feels too much, if it's too heavy, if you don't know that you can carry it, okay, this I'm giving it to God. Because scripture says what? Come unto me, all ye that are burdened and heavy laden. A wrong mindset is a burden. A limiting belief is a burden. There are many things that are, even limiting beliefs, even about yourself and your capacity, is a burden. Because if you believe you can't do the things you can actually do, you're going to stay stuck. You're going to live less. You're going to do less all your life because that's the level of your belief. Take that burden, give it to God. Take that pain, give it to God. Begin the hard work of healing. Like my mom did to me when I was young. Scrub out that wound. You're going to scream. It will feel, you see, every day there's a reason to reference this meme. It will feel as if you want to die, but what? It will not die. Manage. Dig it. Look for it. Let it go. Do the hard work of healing. Dig through your beliefs, dig through your limiting beliefs, dig through your generalizations. Women are this, men are this, mothers are this, women from this tribe are this, people from this country are this. Dig through all those beliefs and take out what should not be there. Assess, like, pinpoint the things that make you believe these strange things, these unnecessary things, and begin to break them down. Hold captive every thought. We've been through this. I don't want to go back to holding captive every thought because I love that analogy so much. But you need to clean out that wound so that you can heal. And that's all I came to say today. I used the full hour today. It's so rare that I use the full hour. I used the full hour today. Oh my gosh. Well, almost the full hour. It's almost the full hour. It's like 53 minutes in. But yeah, that's all I came to say today. And if you watch this in real time, if you watch snippets of this at any point, if this spoke to you at any point, right? If this spoke to anyone at any point, I'm blessed already. That's why I do this. I do this every day between 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Won't always be the full hour, give or take. Sometimes it's really short, sometimes it's really long, like today. But I do this every day. 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. WAT. And I will see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. God bless you. Bye bye. Oh, blessed be the name of the Lord.